Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Game Rifles. I am one of your hosts, Maximilian X, and as always with me is the magnanimous, the guy who always has the master plan, who is always on deck with the latest news. It's Sean Templar. How's it going, Sean?
I'm a bit sad because today I realized that I did not have a master plan and was definitely not on deck because this is the second time we're recording this episode because I had my microphone on mute.
Yeah, that
But
is
besides that, I'm
unfortunate.
okay.
Yeah, welcome. I hope everything is okay. Actually, now since we are doing a take two of this,
A director's cut, if you may.
oh gosh, darn it. No, bad Sean, no biscuit.
I'll show you a biscuit.
There is one thing that I wanted to share, if we can, from the top, since we've been doing this for a while.
Yes.
I think it's safe to say that we can, like, say it on the podcast officially. We're on YouTube now.
Yes, we are.
We are finally
For
on
real.
YouTube. It's been a year.
For real,
totally
we are
forgot
there.
about-
We've
I
been.
totally forgot that I wanted to say that on the
Yeah,
top.
I was gonna do it at the end, but it's good that you're mentioning it in the beginning. We've
Yes.
been in secret,
Hi.
in high secrecy. We've been uploading a few episodes to YouTube, so there is something there when we announce that the channel is live. You will find the description in the link in the description for the channel.
Yep.
Because I've had some people say like, "What's your YouTube channel?" Like, there's a link in the description. Oh.
We keep saying it at the end of the. That
yeah.
just means that most people don't listen to the end of the episode, which is a shame because when you sound off the episode, it's muy awesome.
Maybe I should start with the ending now and then at the end not say anything anymore.
Yes, so it is in the link in the description. It's always been there. It's just that we didn't really upload stuff to it. We did some I did an unboxing and you did like some gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
But we didn't put up episodes. Now we are.
Yeah.
At this point, Sean is the one in charge of that. He is nicely uploading them after the podcast goes live on Wednesday. So expect the YouTube version to go up a couple of days after that, so that you can check it. If you want to check it on YouTube, you can check it on there. If you want to check it as we've been doing on whatever podcasting service that you are listening to us right now, we appreciate it. Give us 5-star ratings, by the way, because that helps with discoverability. I'm getting that out of the way right now too, so that people might actually do that, so that we do get more discoverability. So we're on YouTube. So if you're seeing us on YouTube, hi, I'm Max. You can finally see me. You know what I look like right now. You might actually be surprised by how I look like, but it is what it is, man.
I think you look like any other Mario loving fan that comes to mind.
Yes, because if you're not watching it on YouTube right now, I'm wearing my Uniqlo Super Mario t-shirt, which has a big old Mario on it.
Happy days. It is a little bit rough because we're kind of working out on a way to capture it. So people's feedback and suggestions are more than welcome. As we just do this more often, we'll get more experienced at it and hopefully find a way to easily capture it all and put it out there. So you might see like a quality difference in certain episodes. That's purely because we're just trying to figure out the best way to record this from a visual point as well instead of just an audio. I think we've nailed the audio part, besides my audio always being crappy because of the room that I'm in, even though it looks like I'm in the mountains right now. But yes.
Mount Fuji, very nice.
Mount Fuji, yes. Yes, makes me feel very zen, if I may say so.
Yeah. So does my background, which is a picture that I actually took myself when I was in Japan.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, if I move over to the side, you can see some pretty mountains. Unfortunately, that day you couldn't see Mount Fuji, so that's unfortunate because there were a lot of clouds. But this is also a very serene shot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This scene kind of makes me want to live in the Japanese countryside.
I can imagine. I mean, it looks pretty.
It's nice and quiet, and
Yeah.
like your nearest neighbor is like a kilometer away.
Super
That's
handy when
nice.
there is an emergency in your house and you need to run a kilometer to get to a neighbor.
Yeah, that is the only downside, but at least no more noise complaints.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything is set. Let's just jump into the news because we have a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to talk about it. So let's just jump right into it. Literally, like a couple of days after we uploaded the latest episode, the last episode of Game Rivals, Nintendo deemed it fit to give us a Twitter announcement, of all things, about a new Switch model.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and when it's a Twitter announcement and nothing that is fanfare and like being in advance, um, it's even worse than you think.
I
Well, it's
think a
not
lot
bad.
of
It's not bad. Here's the thing: it's not bad. It's just that when it's just a Twitter announcement, it means that Nintendo did not deem it worthy to have a direct,
I think a lot of people were disappointed in the end with what they announced.
which is kind of their own fault.
No, it is not
Yes, it
because
is.
no, it is not because
Yes.
no. I mean, like so let's get it out of the way. It's
Yeah,
called the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Switch OLED model. It has an OLED screen. It has better sound. It has a better stand. It has the same crappy Joy-Con, so drift is still there,
It has a
and
better dock.
it has a better dock, which has an Ethernet connection in it. Is the same processor, same screen resolution. It's not doing anything better, so it's just like you're getting the same experience from a hardware performance point of view.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people were disappointed because one, the rumor mill was suggesting a Switch Pro. Secondly, I think because Sony and Microsoft both did hardware revisions, which increased the power of the box, and Nintendo just makes it look prettier in a different way. I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed because they were expecting more.
Mm, true. But there, okay, we didn't bring it up the previous time. I'm gonna say it now. The Wii had the Wii HD rumor for like 3 years,
Mm,
and then it didn't happen. What we got was the Wii U,
which was even worse.
which, depending to who you talk to, the Wii U was fine. It was just it missed the point. It missed its mark. I will admit to that. It wasn't bad or worse. It would be worse if they 5 years later released a Wii HD because then it's literally the same system but in HD.
Wasn't the Wii U a Wii HD with a
No, it wasn't.
tagging
It just
tablet?
it just used the Wii name and Wii accessories.
And that big
It
ass
wasn't.
tablet was what?
Yeah, that was the new control scheme. That was the main control scheme.
So, well, like the games on the Wii U weren't even in HD?
Oh, they were.
So
Well,
basically, it's the Wii
720.
HD,
Okay, it doesn't upscale Wii games to HD.
but Wii U games are in HD.
Yeah, Wii U games are in HD.
So basically, it's like a half baked Wii HD.
Sure, dude. Whatever floats your boat, man.
You're just stung because I say it's they went from bad to worse, or not from bad.
Well,
I
they
mean,
didn't
the
go
Wii
from
was
bad to
no, no,
worse.
no, no, no. You're right. The Wii was actually good. They went to something
Yes.
bad, and because you're a Nintendo fan, you're
Well, they
like
went to something disappointing. Well, disappointing-ish. They still made great games for it.
potato, potato.
Mhm. Well, the point is OLED Switch,
Yes.
not the Wii, not the Wii HD, not the Switch Pro. And again, like I said this before multiple times in previous episodes. The reason why I was not excited to talk about the rumors, it's because they are rumors. They are not fact. They should never be seen as fact, even if they come from reputable sources. Because, uh, like for example, like a very good example, there was a rumor like a couple of years ago that Nintendo is working with Netflix on a Zelda
TV show.
series on
Yeah.
Netflix TV show. That got canceled when the leak happened because Nintendo was like, "Oh, okay, apparently you guys do not know how to keep a tight lid on stuff that we're working in secret with. So we're dropping out of that stuff. That got canceled because someone could not keep their big mouth shut.
We talked
This
about
is
it a couple
kind.
episodes ago.
This kind of is the same thing, except in this case, I think what happened is that the semiconductor shortage is kind of part of the reason why we don't have a
Probably.
Switch Pro right now,
Yeah.
or whatever it was going to be called. And they still felt like they needed to do some kind of refresh that would allow them to bring out a new model, but not necessarily upset people that already own a Switch. Because there was another side of the argument that people were worried that if a Switch Pro would happen, that would split the user base, and not in a good way.
Well, why? I mean, it didn't happen with the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro.
But it did happen with the new 3DS because there was like 4 games ever made that specifically used the new 3DS's capabilities.
But then that's maybe like something that Nintendo should maybe have, made clear more easily. Because if you look at, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Because, I mean, if basically they made a Switch Pro,
Hmm.
and they said like, yeah, you can develop for the powerful hardware, but it needs to do the same on the less powerful hardware, then the only benefit you would have as a Switch Pro owner is that it's just prettier. And that's basically what you get when you have a PS4 Pro. It's prettier. It's not that you have a completely different game. I mean, the Death Stranding I played on my PS4 Pro is the same that you are playing on your PS4. Mine just looks prettier.
Yeah, but I think that works a bit differently than it did on like something like the new 3DS, because with the new 3DS they had the same issue. It has to run on regular 3DS,
Hmm.
but you also had like new 3DS exclusive games. So you had games
That's
that
not true.
ran better.
Yeah.
You had games that ran better on the new 3DS, like for example, Hyrule Warriors
Yeah.
Legends on the 3DS runs like absolute butt on the regular 3DS. Like almost single frames and barely any enemies. The new 3DS version runs way better.
Okay.
I mean, not as good as like the Wii U version, obviously, but still good enough to play. Like on the 3D new 3DS, and even Fire Emblem Heroes, not Heroes, Fire Emblem Warriors was a 3D new 3DS exclusive that did not work on a regular 3DS. If you wanted to play that version on a 3DS, you needed to have a new 3DS
But that's
or buy the
basically
Switch version.
that's segmenting your audience.
That's what people are worried about.
But like,
At least that's
well,
what some people are. Not all of them. That's
okay,
what some
yeah.
people are worried about.
But then again, it comes down to Nintendo saying like you're not allowed to make exclusive games for the Switch Pro. If you make it for the Switch or for the Switch Pro, it has to run on the Switch as well.
And I know that I said that I hate talking about rumors, especially when it comes to Nintendo. There is one rumor that does kind of eases that in, is that they did tell developers allegedly to make their content 4K ready. And if the rumors were true and it was just upscaling to 4K, then all you need is to have the assets there, and then the rest is being done by upscaling.
Okay.
Which doesn't necessarily mean that you couldn't make a base Switch version that looks less good than than that would run on a Switch Pro, for example.
Yeah, I mean,
But again, that's rumors. Who knows what Nintendo was working
yeah.
on?
I mean, there was also a rumor that a new dev kit got pushed to developers that includes more RAM.
Oh no, that's actual fact.
But like, why would they do it?
That's the real question. Why did they do it? Nobody knows why they did it. The thing that people are speculating is that it just gives developers more of a overhead so that they can optimize their games better.
But like the normal dev kit already had overhead, right?
A little bit, yeah. They increased, like the dev kit has had 2 revisions. They had one revision a couple of years ago where they upped the RAM, and this is basically the second time that they've upped the RAM for developers. But co- that dev kit revision, sorry, that was actually, yeah, that was 2 years ago. That coincided with the revision of the Switch, with
But like,
the 2 point the Switch 2.0.
why would you have to add more RAM again?
No, because they changed, because the chip did get a slight modification to run more efficiently.
You know what I
So
mean?
that's
This
why they
revision. So
changed.
like, why did you
Oh,
have to
this I
add?
have no idea.
So I mean, yeah.
There might be something. There might also be nothing. It could also be the fact that the OLED version, uh, so that they can like optimize it better for the OLED version. I have no idea. At this point, we have no idea. Just speculation to go on with the dev kit.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's not like Nintendo Switch is gonna have any kind of competition anytime soon. I mean, it's not like someone who has billions of dollars to waste on research and development
Before we
would
jump
make
into
another
that,
one.
I do want to touch upon the fact that um, you, for episodes long, when we talked about this subject, said, "I'm not gonna buy it," and now as soon as the damn thing came out, you it's because you were sick. Otherwise, you would have slept in front of the store to get a freaking pre-order.
Okay, first of all, I've never slept in front of a store for a pre-order.
I know,
Second
but
of
you're
all,
that kind
the
of guy.
only reason I bought this is not because, for one, if this is not the Switch Pro, so technically you're still wrong.
No, no.
And as I said before, the only reason I'm buying this is because my
Which
Switch
is falling apart.
needs to be repaired. Please,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
saw
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I showed you. It's a
Yes,
very sad
yes,
state.
yes.
It still works fine.
But the
It's
fact
just that the
that you
back
like
panel is like destroyed.
the fact that you were like so I mean like every time we touched upon the subject, you were like
I'm
like the
still saying
world's
I might not get it at launch if there is a Switch Pro. Like I said before, I might not get it. I almost did not even get this. And I almost did not even pre-order it. The OLED model. But then I was like, well, there's two issues right now. One, my Switch is falling apart and it needs to be fixed. But I don't want to send it into Nintendo and like have and get it back and have none of my save files, even if I have backups in the cloud. Not all the games have backups in the cloud. The other
they
thing
don't.
is that no, not all games support the cloud support.
Why?
Ask Nintendo, man. I seriously, I don't know. It's stupid. Like for the longest time, Animal Crossing did not support cloud save. Now it does. Just I don't know. Like ask Nintendo, man. Nintendo is weird when it comes to online stuff. You know that.
I'm
But I will.
disappointed.
But the other thing is that with the semiconductor shortage, which is probably one of the reasons why we still don't have the Switch Pro. I felt that if I did want to buy it eventually, I don't know when this next Switch is going to come out. I have a thing that's falling apart. I need a new system. This is at least a good enough reason to get a new system without it being literally the exact same thing.
I think you have it doesn't matter what Nintendo brings out, you will always have a good reason to buy it.
Yeah, but not right away. Like for example, the only reason that I bought the new 3DS is because I bought the 3DS at launch, and then they had the whole ambassador program, and because I was part of the ambassador program, I was allowed to buy the new 3DS in advance
Mm,
before, like I think a month or so before the 3DS was gonna launch in Europe. So that
okay.
was nice. So I got like this neat, like it's in the background, you can't even see it, but it is it's beyond the mountains. If you're watching the YouTube version, it is beyond the
It's
mountains.
over the mountains.
I have this neat little like new 3DS. It says Ambassador Edition on it, really nice.
Wow,
Um,
sounds fancy.
yeah, so that's the only reason why I bought that at launch. Like I didn't buy a DS Lite at launch. I bought it when I needed it. I didn't buy. I never bought like a new 3DS XL because the new 3DS, honestly, for me was way more fun because you can like customize it. But I
Mm.
don't buy it unless I absolutely need it. In this case, well, I don't absolutely need the OLED version, but it does come at a good time Plus, it comes out the same time as as Metroid, so it's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. I did buy it for 360. Huh,
that's
that's
okay.
kind of funny. Yeah, it's like 10. It's like 10 euros more than everywhere else because everywhere else they're selling it for the 350, which is nice because the regular Switch is still being sold for like 350 or or 329 if you're lucky, or if you're really lucky, they sell it for 309. If you're really unlucky, you'll buy one of those stupid bundles that they sell for 500 bucks.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be 350 or something because I thought like, oh, okay, if it's 349 in dollars, it'll probably
I
be
thought it
like
was going to be
three,
400.
yeah, or 379 in euros because they always bump it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, 349. If you got it for 349, you're lucky. If you
Mm.
got it for 349 euros, you got it at the like right price. Um if you didn't, like, also pre-orders went live in the US and everything already got scalped. And we're back from the technical difficulties.
I don't know
Oh,
what happened. It's
that's gonna
just
look really interesting on the video.
I have no idea how to fix it. I'm just I don't know.
We're just gonna have to roll with it. We're gonna
Yep.
have to roll with it.
We should
But we
never have
weren't talking
told.
about
We should never have said that it's going to be on YouTube because now
it. It
it's
just jinxed it.
yeah, it's happening again like the first time.
Every time when we announce it, it gets jinxed.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, so in terms of pricing, it's actually not bad this time around.
yeah.
I'm glad because if they sold it for like 379, I probably would have not done it though. It's like even with the 350, it's like it was really hard. It was really hard.
I
Um,
wonder if the old Switch is going to come down in price to 300
nope.
though. So
Oh, you mean here in Europe?
yeah,
I hope so. They better because they seriously have zero excuse to sell them at 350 right now because you can go online right now, I think, and you can still find like regular Switch, like the neon one or the gray one for 350. Because they at a certain
yeah.
point they were like selling them for 350 without a game, like
I
without
know.
anything.
When I
It's
wanted to
insane.
buy one, it was around 400.
Which like I saw one retailer selling the OLED model for 400 euros.
I'm not surprised. Was it what was what they're what people
It's
used
not
to?
Ball, it's the other one.
No, there is I forgot how people called them because of they were scamming people. Uh,
There's one that did that?
yeah, there was this retailer that sold PS5s above MSRP.
Really?
Yeah, that was they were selling it for 500-600 euros. So, for example, they would sell the digital edition for 500-600 euros and the disc edition for 700 euros, and that would be just the bare console.
Wow, that's a rip.
Yep.
That is a rip, rip,
Because
rip, rip, rip,
I
rip.
noticed when I was in the Telegram group that notified you of a stock drop, so there was no bot that could buy it. They could only notify you of
Mhm.
when stock was dropping, and there was a digital edition that kept on dropping at that specific retailer all the time in like multiple times over the day in the same week, and I was like, what's going on? And eventually I clicked on the link and I saw they were selling it above MSRP and nobody wanted to buy it at that price.
Well, that's one way to keep your stock.
There was a name people used to call them something something scam or so they had like a twist on their name that kind of reflected on what they were doing. I just forgot the name.
Was it a Dutch word?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, then I don't. Oh, that's gonna be a tough
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
one.
I forgot. I should ask someone I
Yeah. Well, that is very disappointing. Yeah, that is kind of disappointing that that there are still retailers that are like, oh, we're
know. Well,
gonna
it's
sell it
gonna
for like
it's
400.
happening with the Switch OLED as well, right? Like
Yeah,
scalpers are
yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
on it.
Oh, scalpers are already on it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of disappointing.
And like the worst part with these things is that people want it so desperately that they pay the price for it. Because what you saw with the PS5 was that like as soon as stock started to stabilize, the prices start to drop considerably for the people that were selling it. because I
Yeah.
remember seeing them online at like on launch day. It was a minimum was 1,000 plus, and like 3 months after, it was 650.
Yeah.
So yeah,
If here's the thing, if you want to switch OLED, if you want a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. If you want a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, what I would honestly recommend is just going to like a box store, like a
a
retail
physical
store, like a
retailer,
physical
yeah,
store, pre-order it there
and just wait,
if you can.
yeah,
Some like I think with like the consoles now you could just like check and see if like they have a waiting list.
yep,
Let them put you on the waiting list. They'll notify you when they have stock
yep.
and just buy it at retail price.
That's what I
Because you're
did.
not because it's ridiculous to buy these scalper prices. Do
Yeah,
not buy these scalper prices. I've seen like eBay listings from the US that are that scalpers are putting it up for $1,000. What the actual crap? It's just a gosh darn Switch.
yep.
Easy, like geez Louise.
But I wonder
Like don't buy it from that.
because you mentioned that, but I wonder if it will sell because it's just a regular Switch with an OLED screen.
To the uneducated person, it will.
I don't know because
Like I'm just talking mostly about people that are not aware of this stuff. They just see it's a new model. If they don't do their homework, they're just gonna buy it because they're like, oh, like little Jimmy wants
yeah,
this new version, or you're like, oh, I was hearing rumors. Oh, this must be that Switch Pro. I'm just gonna get it because I'm seeing like it's a new model.
probably.
That's like the thing that people have to really be like careful about.
Yeah, I wonder if people won't be like, I'll just buy the old Switch because it's the old Switch and it's cheaper.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside of it because um, the Switch never went down in price in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let me see if I can look it up. But like I was already kind of trying to segue, dude. It's not like there's anybody else standing in Nintendo's way of you know reaching that point at all. Like there's not like a $1 billion company that's capable of doing something like that.
Is this the part where I say that Valve announced the Steam Deck,
That is the part that you announced that Valve announced the Steam Deck.
which is basically like a Windows Nintendo Switch handheld thingy? Yep.
Yeah,
And it basically has a dumbed down version of the. It's like the half version of the Series S from a power point of view.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. It's basically a portable PC that does ray tracing, like hardware ray tracing.
Yeah, but like a side note is that I think a lot of developers will have to optimize their games to be able to for that platform to take advantage of
Oh,
it.
for sure. Like they have to treat it as like a console.
Yeah.
If they want to have optimized like settings, they have to treat it that way. Um, if I mean they don't have, well, they don't have to, but if they want to give their gamers the best experience on that specific platform, they have to.
I wonder if a game will let you crank the settings up to ultra, for
I
example.
am pretty sure you can select Ultra. The question is it gonna run properly on Ultra? Because
Oh no,
I
probably
can put,
not, but
because even on my dinky 10-plus-year-old PC, I can put it to Ultra. It'll kill the game right
yeah,
away,
yeah, but like
but I can put it on Ultra.
I mean, like to protect the user's experience, I would say if I were Valve, I would expect
Oh no,
them.
because it's a PC game.
Yeah, but like I would
So
expect
it
them
just
to have something in there, like, "Hey, be warned, you're putting this on ultra. The hardware is not designed for this, so please don't do this." Like a warning message there.
oh no, but yeah, but like developers already do that for like PC games. There, like if you like, not all PC games do this, of course. There are some PC games that if they have like super high settings,
Hmm.
like that demand a lot. When you put it to high, it'll give you a notification if your system set, from what we can detect,
Hmm.
your graphics card should not be able to run this efficiently. Be warned, your experience is not going to be optimal.
Yeah. I mean,
Plus, most games do have like they will check what kind of graphics card you're running, and they will set it by default to the optimal setting of the PC that you're playing on.
yeah, I mean, it's if they pull it off and developers optimize their software for it, I think it's going to be a smash hit because then it means you can take a lot of games on the go with you, and you can. I mean, like for some, I mean, for an
We'll
example,
get to it. We'll get to it. We'll
an
get to it.
example, if you are a die-hard League of Legends fan, and if the world ever goes into a state where you can have a LAN party again,
Hmm.
what's to say? What's stopping you from buying this and then taking this with you to a LAN party and just making sure you bring a screen, a keyboard, and a mouse, and you just plug
And
it
a
all in
dock.
there and a dock, and you plug it all in there, and you play League of Legends. I mean,
Oh, like for League of Legends, like games like
for yeah,
like
or
MOBAs,
yeah, or
anything that's not
Counter Strike
ridiculously.
Go, so for example.
Yeah, this is like the perfect thing to take with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the only thing that I can imagine is that as long as it can, at least with something like Counter Strike, where you kind of want the frames, uh, like or I don't know, Destiny or whatever you want to play on it. Anything that basically relies on like having like six at the very least 60 frames per second locked. You're gonna like if it can like I don't know if it's gonna do 60 per frames per second locked. We don't even know if this thing is it's definitely not 4K capable. Like we said, like it's half of what the Series S can do. The Series S does not do 4K. It does do 4K upscaling, but not 4K
I thought it only did 2560.
by 1440. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does 1440p.
yeah.
So the question is, does this output in 4? I actually didn't even check that if it does output in 1440p, because the screen resolution on the Steam Deck is 1280 by 800, which is a little bit higher than on the Switch,
Yep.
and that's obviously to save on battery life. Because there have been other like portable Switch like PCs, and they always run on high resolutions because they want to be like, oh, look at us, we're fancy. But it kills the battery.
Yes.
Like if you're not plugged in, those things just drain batteries in like an hour or two if you're lucky. Like at the most, if you're gonna play something on ultra, it is not lasting for 30 minutes.
Probably not.
So no, obviously not. It's nice to have a big old screen, but you can't really bring it everywhere. See, that thing is good for LAN parties
Yeah.
because you're hooking it up to a screen anyways. But with the stream with the Steam Deck, they integrated the touchpads from the Steam controller that they used to sell.
It looks
So
pretty
that's one
ugly.
thing. Yeah, it's just like two squares, but
Yeah.
apparently, according because IGN had like the exclusive on it, they did like hands-on and stuff like that. They had interviews with Gabe Newell, Lord Gaben.
He looks
Um,
so different now. He's like completely all
he look
gray, the guy.
he looks like PC Santa Claus.
Yeah. I was shocked when I saw
He's
like
had oh, you haven't seen him in a long. He's been rocking that beard for like a couple of years now.
I haven't seen him in a long while.
Yeah, I mean, he does not do like a lot of interviews, but like the last time I saw a picture of him, he was rocking that beard, so I was already kind of used to that. But yeah, he's been like rocking that Santa beard for I think at least a year now, maybe longer.
Oh,
But it doesn't matter. He's rich. He can do whatever he wants.
probably.
Like I said, the Valve has a lot of money. They have a lot of resources. This is one of the reasons probably why they did it. It is interesting because we'll see if they were able to pull off what other hardware manufacturers tried to do, and are still trying to do, because there were like Kickstarters and all that stuff for other systems like this. Um, but like I said, those are like running high spec, so that doesn't really do anything for battery life. But this, they say the battery life is supposed to be 2 to 8 hours, like
8.
3 to 8 hours, something like that. Which
Okay.
is kind of like the Switch. Like the Switch does, I think, 4 to 9 hours with the revision model. Like the launch model was like 5 to 7 hours.
I think if you play
I've
Stardew Valley on the revised Switch, you can get the 9 hours. But
oh
if you play,
well, you definitely get the
yeah,
9
if you
hours.
play Breath of the Wild, you'll get the 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I no actually because I used to get 4 hours on Breath of the Wild on my launch Switch
Okay, so
from
then
just the
you'll get
battery.
five
So
hours.
yeah, so I think like you get like an additional hour on that. It's still good. Um, the game and the playtime. But yeah, so they do have those things in their favor, and of course, your Steam library works on it because it's running on the third version of Steam OS. So the Steam OS that they made for the Steam machines, uh, long live the Steam machines. Rest
Wasn't
in
it
peace,
called the
Steam
Steam
machines.
Box or something like that?
No, Steam machine.
Really? It was a Steam machine?
Yeah, Steam
Hmm.
machine. Like people called it the Steam box when it was rumored because it's like, oh, it's their console. It's like Xbox. Yeah, whatever. So that's a thing. The only issue that I have is the storage.
Yeah.
The only real issue I have with this thing is the storage. You have them in 64, 256, 512. The 256 and 512 are NVMe SSDs. The 64 is a solid state E something rather other. It's a NAND drive. It's a NAND drive, and it's not a fast one either.
They probably did that to cut costs.
They they did do it to cut costs because even no, not only did they not do it to cut costs, Gabe Newell said in their interview that they actually like even went much lower than they wanted to go because they wanted to make it marketable. I still don't know why in the Sam Hill you would ever release a PC with 64 gigabytes, but there you go.
If you
Like
want to play
even
League
like
of Legends on it,
yeah, if you want to play League of Legends on it, fine. First of all, League of Legends, last time I checked, was not on Steam,
but
so
you
you'd
can,
have to install
yeah,
Windows,
you can probably install Windows on it.
or I don't know, like you'd have to install like a Linux version that does run it. Doesn't matter. Um, but the thing is, 64 is not a lot. Like if you want to do a AAA game, it's not gonna fit.
It won't fit
Maybe if
Warzone
it's
on
like
it.
don't even get me started on COD. That is like a beast of a different level entirely. No, it's not gonna have Call of. You can't put Call of Duty on it. You can't put Warzone on it. It ain't gonna work. You probably won't be. You probably barely won't be even to able to play like, for example, uh, uh Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like
I don't know.
how big is Cyberpunk anyways?
It's
Like,
around 60 gigs.
and that is not even including the OS. I don't know how big Steam is, like Steam OS. Like I know like Windows 10 is like 7 or 8 gigs that you're losing on the 64.
Yeah, but then
So you're
you
not even
know,
getting 64.
it's basically like an indie machine.
Yeah, like the 64 gig is an indie machine, a very expensive indie machine. Honestly, you could just buy a Switch and do it on there, and it will run just fine. Um, Plus, you have an OLED screen instead of an LCD, LED. Is it LED or LCD? I forget. It doesn't matter. At least here's the thing. Like I said with the scalping thing, if you're in the market of pre-ordering or getting the Steam uh, deck, get the 256. Like shell out for the 256 or 512. At the very least, you have enough space, and you're running on a really fast SSD because it's NVMe.
Yes.
The other thing is that you can expand the memory with an SD card, but SD cards are slower than an NVMe, and I'm pretty sure it's slower than a NAND. So you can't put in like a 512 micro SD card and call it a day. I don't think that's gonna work in your favor in terms of loading times or like
It'll probably
a
be really
game that does
slow.
streaming assets.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really slow if it even works at all.
Yeah, unless they develop some stuff into Steam OS that optimizes that or so, but we don't know.
Well, the only thing I do know is that they have this like converter program. I think it's called like Phantom or something that allows you to play more games that are not specifically for Steam OS. So like Windows games,
Hmm.
they're still optimizing it and getting more games to run on it. So that will help you in terms of the library situation if you're running Steam. But like I said before, you can also just install Windows on it. So you can have your Xbox Game Pass on there and install your games through Xbox Game Pass. You can run GeForce Now on it if you want to stream games. You can run Ubisoft Plus, EA Play, you can put Epic, the Epic Store on there and like play your free Epic games on there instead. Or if you bought games on the Epic Store, you can do it through that. You know, Epic exclusives. You can download good old games and do it through there. It's an
Loads
open
of
platform.
options. Yeah.
You have loads of options because the Stream Deck is a portable PC. It's not a console. It has console like features, but it's a PC first and foremost. Like you can hook it up to a USB dock. They are going to be releasing their own specific dock for the Steam Deck, but you can just hook it up to like a USB C dock and it'll work just fine.
Happy days.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of Assassin's Creed, I mean, we talked about this before, so I kind of just want to go through it quickly. Ubisoft is making a new game in the Assassin's Creed franchise called Infinite. Am I
Infinity.
saying Infinity, which is a Assassin's Creed live service game. So it's not a base game; it's a service game that they're just going to be supporting Infinity
And beyond.
and beyond.
Yeah, so basically there was a rumor a couple of days ago that said that they would be transitioning towards this. So basically every Assassin's Creed game gets
Yeah,
turned into a live service. Instead of saying like, well, why turn the game into a live service if we can make the game a live service from the start? So basically, the rumor said that they're going to do that, and that there are going to be multiple story arches in the game with multiple characters, and that you can just kind of play with those. And then a couple of days later, there was a Ubisoft blog post saying like, "Hey, the next game is Ubisoft from us is Assassin's Creed Infinity. We're not going to tell you anything about the game. We're not going to show you anything about the game, but this is going to be a whole new experience because multiple studios around the world will be able to work on it instead of we assigning it to some studios to do it, meaning that you as the player benefit from it. Blah blah blah. We can milk out more money from you, but we're not telling you right now how we're gonna do that. We're just making this beautiful promise. Um, I mean, I like Assassin's Creed games. This is a logical move
oh
since
no, I find them fascinating. I'm just not on board with the whole life service
well, like
thing.
if they give you choice, if they say like, you know what, entry is free and you can pay for the experience that you want, or if they say like, you know, you can pay $30 and then you can choose an arc, and if you want to play more of that arc, you just shell out more money. I mean, if you give me that choice instead of saying we want 70 euros and then you get to play with Eivor in England, and if you don't like the setting, you just blew $70. Whereas now with this infinity model, maybe there's a lot more choice and you can just, you know, tailor your own game to your needs.
My issue with this is quality in general, right?
Yeah.
Like, like this is definitely gonna have an impact on the quality because it's gonna be running on one engine,
Yes.
which I'm assuming is a Snowdrop engine.
No, they use Anvil Next for their. They have developed their own engine. It's called Anvil Next. It's been something they've been using for years.
Okay. So I guess only the Tom Clancy games use Snowdrop.
Uh, Not necessarily. I think the Rainbow Siege games also use their own engine.
Really? Oh,
So,
okay.
like, basically, the only people that use Snowdrop now is, I think, Massive.
Okay.
Whereas
Uh,
it would be logical to make that their own in-house engine, kind of like EA is forcing Frostbite onto everyone inside EA.
Actually, you know what? It's probably better that they just have separate engines for stuff like that. No, I take it back. It's fine. It's fine.
And will
But yeah,
next.
just I don't know. Like I heard that, I was like, no, no, thank you. Like
When's the
no,
last time you played an Assassin's Creed game?
Black Flag.
That's like the beginning of the PS4 generation. That's the first Assassin's Creed came out on PS4.
Played it on the Wii U.
I knew that.
It was on discount. I couldn't help it.
It's one I personally like that one. Like it's one of the best ones so far. But
It's fun. It's fun. I like the naval combat. It's better than in Assassin's Creed 3, but I also enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3 more than most people did. So
I did as well. I never understood why people didn't like 3, but
I don't know. I No, I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna be like a whole thing. I do not want to talk about that. Suffice to say, it would have been nice if they did more stuff in that particular time period.
yeah,
Um, does that mean we'll get Samurai Assassin's Creed? I don't know.
we already have that, and it's called Ghost of Tsushima,
Ah,
and it's a really good
we've been
game.
over this. Yes, yes, it's fine. It's great. It's great. That's why you paid the 30 euros
Do
extra, right?
not downplay how good of a game that is. I mean,
I'm still gonna play it eventually, but
in
gosh darn it.
54 years, when you finally played it, and we've all played the 30th game in the franchise, and you tell us how amazing the first one was, we will tell you we told you so.
Hey, I still try and get people to play Secret of Mana, and that game is like almost 30 years old. So
Yeah.
it's still a great game. It's not perfect, but a great game.
I would say that two was my favorite game of all time.
Um, yes, yeah. Speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, by the way, and its fun pricing points, we were right. We were right in the last episode.
Yeah, we were right.
And even like Kojima was like, "Yo, the whole director's cut naming thing was not my idea. I think it's too pretentious because that is not the definition of director's cut." And we talked about this. Director's cut literally means stuff that the director wanted in that got left on the cutting room floor. That is not what Death Stranding is. I don't know if that's what happened with Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know. I do know that they're adding more stuff, which is fine. I can respect that they're adding more stuff. Just then call it like an enhanced version or something, not director's cut. That's the only thing that rubs me the wrong way from Sony. And we know that Sony is making this whole big deal that that's what they're going to be doing from now on with games that they bring over to the PlayStation 5, like specifically PlayStation 5 versions. It just feels pretentious. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking it. I just feel it's pretentious. I also feel that the pricing is a little bit too much, especially in Europe. Especially in Europe because
But
you pay 80
I
euros.
never liked the pricing in Europe because they went
Yeah, the
from
pricing in Europe is
yeah, it's they went
horrible.
to
It's
80
horrendous.
euros here for a game,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's just
horrendous.
crazy.
80 euros.
Yeah,
Like if you turn that back into dollars, that's like almost $100.
yeah. I mean, it's and I don't think it has to do with the fact that I have a digital edition PS5 because I really don't mind having a digital. But I think that the fact that games are 80 euros, and people will say, well, if you have the disc version, you could just buy the game secondhand, or you could buy the games cheaper, or blah blah blah. No, I don't care. I chose specifically for the digital edition because, for starters, I
You
like
hate the
the,
bump.
I like how it looks. I don't like the bump, ugly bump. And
This bump.
secondly, is really nice to have games digitally because you can just easily switch between them instead of getting off the couch every time. Plus, physical games just take up space, and I don't like it. But anyways, I don't have an issue with buying games digitally. I mean, I bought games digitally on the PS4 at the time. I don't mind. But like the fact that the games are 80 euros now makes it a big deal for me because now, I mean, I still haven't bought Ratchet and Clank. I would love to play Ratchet and Clank, but I don't feel like spending 80 bucks on that game. And it's not to say that the game, I know that the game is worth the money. It's just that I don't want to spend 80 bucks on the game. And that's for any
Mm.
game. I mean, like, I'm still waiting for a proper discount on Demon Souls. I still want to play Demon Souls, but the game's also 80 bucks. And I refuse. I mean, like, I know for Horizon Forbidden West is going to be 80 bucks. And with
Mhm.
that game, I'm like, I don't mind paying 80 bucks for this game because this will be a game that I one will spend loads and loads of hours in, and
Hmm.
secondly, it was one of Horizon Zero Dawn was one of my favorite PS4 games. So with that, I'm like, I can just take the loss or take the hit.
Do you think they're gonna do a director's cut of Horizon Zero Dawn?
No,
I think they will.
why? They're just bringing over PS4 games to the five.
Wait,
Then those games get a
hang on a
director's cut.
second. Is Horizon is or isn't Horizon Zero Dawn in the PlayStation Plus collection?
It is not. It also does not have any PS5 optimizations. Still no. Yeah, what does this mean?
That means this means that I would not be surprised that either before or after Forbidden West comes
I
out,
think
we
before.
get a director's cut for Horizon on PlayStation
I
5.
wouldn't be surprised if they did it.
The only solace is that you have the PlayStation Plus collection, you have God of War in there.
Yeah.
So, and it's already been optimized, or optimization is coming for that to PlayStation 5. So
With
I
God
don't
of
think that
War.
they'll, yeah, for God of War.
Oh, it got a patch a while back that supports 60 FPS and up to 4K.
Does it support the DualShock?
DualSense. I don't know. I
Sense,
can't
sorry.
remember.
Yeah. So I think it did, right?
But the funny thing about Horizon Zero Dawn is it when you rack your bow, you can feel that in the triggers. But they haven't updated it, Horizon Zero Dawn, for anything. So they either basically knew it a long time ago or something. But like the first time I played Zero Dawn on my PS5, and when I was racking my bow, I was like, whoa, I can feel tension. So that's really
Oh, okay.
strange. They never said like, oh, we've added functionality to the PS5 version. It's just like it's in there.
Mhm. I still think they're gonna charge you 80
I
bucks
think
for
they're
it.
gonna do a director's cut of Horizon Zero Dawn as well. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And if we keep buying
yeah.
them, I mean, they'll probably do it for
The
Ghost of
the
Tsushima, for Last of Us Part Two as well.
oh, I'm pretty sure that that's what they're gonna call it, and that's what they're gonna do with it, because we already know that they're working on it. Wait, no, we know they're working on part one. Sorry.
Well, that's the rumor. At least Neil Druckmann said that we're going to show you a lot more around The Last of Us in the coming months. We're not ready to tell you what.
Hmm. We'll see. We'll see, and we'll see until that comes.
Yeah,
We also have like the whole thing that Ubisoft is doing today.
yeah. They're
As we're
gonna announce
recording
a new
this,
game.
yeah. So we don't know what that is. A lot of people are probably still holding up that it is a new Splinter Cell.
Yeah, because it's a new game in the Tom Clancy franchise, and they've shown a teaser yesterday of like the logo. But based on what I saw, I'm like, this doesn't look anything. The style of the teaser doesn't look like anything remotely Splinter Cell related.
Yeah.
But it would still be nice because I mean it's been years since we had a Splinter Cell game.
Okay, so if it's not Splinter Cell, else? What else could it be? Because I
Rumors
don't.
are that it's kind of like a Call of Duty Black Ops kind of game.
Yeah, but in what franchise? Like we already have Rainbow Six. We have, well, the Division is new, so that doesn't count. Um,
I think
so if
the
it's not Splinter Cell, what else in the Tom Clancy universe could it be? It's not going to be a Jack Ryan game.
oh, but they say it's a new IP. But I think they're maybe aiming for a little bit more of a casual experience because Rainbow Six Siege is pretty hardcore, and I think they're looking for. I mean, and for example, they already have an FPS in Far Cry, but that's to
Oh wait, it's like a new game, new
from
IP.
they said it's a new IP in the
Oh,
Tom
then it's
Clancy
not.
universe.
Then it can't be Splinter Cell.
I guess so.
Oh,
I
wouldn't
think
it
it's a
be
more
crazy if it?
casual. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it was Tom Clancy Hawks, the fighter game series that people did not like?
No,
It's kind of wasted potential because they were doing cool stuff with it.
I liked Endgame. No, End War.
End War.
That's
What was that
that
again?
was the strategy game in the Tom Clancy
Oh, right,
universe.
right, right, right,
You
right.
could
Yeah, yeah. The
command the
RTS game.
yeah, you could command units by using your voice. And
Yeah.
that worked
Oh my
really,
gosh, I
really
forgot about
well. That
that.
worked really, really well. Because
I always wanted to try that.
yeah, I did, and it was really good. Because basically, what the game did is if you kind of knew the command structure and like how to use the keywords and just use those keywords, then it would just you would see it on screen. You would say like unit alpha move to bravo, or like squad 5 move to alpha, and then you would see like it would basically show up like a flow chart. You would see like squad 5 move to alpha, and then it would just go through the flow chart, and then those units would instantly respond and just go to alpha. Or if we say
That is
hold
so
position, blah 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 blah,
cool.
it really felt like you were this commander on the battlefield looking over that battle map and saying stuff like, "Oh, okay, Alpha Squad move to Bravo to suppress enemies, blah blah blah," and then it would tick all the boxes and it would just do it for you.
That is so.
That was really cool. It's such a shame that they didn't do more with it, but I think it's because RTS games don't work on consoles, and probably
Oh
that
right, it
commands
was like
function
a
was too
console
gimmicky.
exclusive, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it came to PC, but was designed and developed with console in mind.
Oh man, that's kind of disappointing.
Because Massive, for example, the guys behind the Division, are originally RTS developers. They made the World in Conflict RTS games.
It didn't
PC.
come to P. Oh yeah, it did come to PC.
Yeah, I think later. It
There's
was
a
originally.
PSP and DS version.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
No.
That's so crazy.
Yep.
Oh, it was back in the day when they made like literally for everything except for the Wii.
Yep.
It's like, wait, you're making a DS version, but you can't like pull yourself together and make a Wii version? What's up with that?
I think it would have worked perfectly on the Wii because you
It
could have
would
used
have
the Wii
worked.
mode as a pointer to select the units and move them around.
Yeah, exactly. You could have it be a version like that instead. Ah well.
I'm still surprised why there is no way to, for example, use, for example, your smartphone as a big shiny touchpad or a tablet or a mouse pad, wherein you just plug it in through a cable or through wireless, cable preferentially, and then you just use that tablet in your hand as a controller to play an RTS game on the console. Because I played Rome
At
Total
that
War.
point, why not just have it be a tablet version?
No, but like you would want, for example, I played Rome Total War on my iPad and I loved every second of it. I finished a campaign on it, which I've never finished a campaign on the PC with Rome Total War. So I finished my first campaign on the iPad. And the touch controls it just worked so well. Once you understand how it works brilliantly. So like
Hmm.
why don't they do like strategy games on the consoles so that they can take advantage of all that power of the consoles instead of you having to build your own PC and then just plug in your tablet, and then your tablet becomes the controller, and you can just select all those units. You can move them all over the place.
I I legit think it's too many barriers to entry in that at that point.
You think?
Yeah.
Because they've always had the issue that they need to come up with a control scheme for the controller to make an RTS game work. And now you can just grab your phone and then just move around and just double tap or zoom in or zoom out or use two fingers for a right click or stuff like that. It just feels
Well,
so much more intuitive.
yeah, well, that's the reason why the Steam Deck has the touchpads
But I
so that
don't
you can
think
play
that will work the
RTS
same.
games.
I don't think it's the same.
It worked at least from like people's experience with the Steam controller. It works fine with
Okay.
like RTS and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like it is kind of disappointing that we don't know what it's going to be. So if it's going to be a new IP, I have absolutely no idea what they're going to do. Because for one, what else in the Tom Clancy universe is there left to like tackle? I mean, Tom Clancy has been dead for like a really long time, and they wholesale bought the rights to his name so they can make more games with his name attached to it. So they're just making like I'm pretty sure there's not a book called Tom Clancy's The Division unless I'm missing something here.
I
Um,
don't know.
so yeah, I have no idea what they're planning on doing. We have three first-person shooters in the Tom Clancy universe. Am I saying that right? Or at least three shooters in the Tom Clancy universe, which is Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon,
As a division.
and The Division.
Yeah.
So those are the three like shooters, first slash third, right? Okay.
Yep.
Then we have what we haven't had in a long time: espionage in Splinter Cell.
Yes.
We have uh, what what else do we currently have in terms of Tom Clancy?
That's it.
Nothing, right? Because everything else got scrapped. We don't have a Hawks. We don't have End War.
Nope.
Um, Is there anything else Tom Clancy games related? I don't know.
Mobile stuff, but
Yeah, mobile stuff, but who cares about
yep.
that? So I don't know, man. It's like, what new do they want to do in that particular?
As I said, they probably want to make a casual FPS.
Mm,
Maybe something that can take on Warzone.
yeah, yeah. I guess that maybe. Oh gosh, please don't be a battle royale.
I mean, their Hyperscape Battle Royale, I don't think it was that big of a success.
Doesn't mean they won't try it because battle royale apparently still makes money. So
Yeah. I mean, people keep on buying battle passes for Warzone, so
mhm.
and Fortnite.
I think they've. One thing is I like hyperscape. I think that was their attempt to see how interested people would be in something that doesn't look like Fortnite or doesn't look like Call of Duty.
I
I
don't know.
think because that was really neon-y and kind of futuristic looking, like
Cyberpunky.
yeah, a bit cyberpunky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, please, CD Projekt Red, do not make a cyberpunk battle royale game. That would be so
No.
disappointing.
They are working on they're going to do a multiplayer to Cyberpunk eventually. That's not in the near
Yeah, good luck with
future.
that one.
Yeah. Also, in
Oh my
other
goodness.
Ubisoft news, they postponed Rainbow Six till next year, the Extinction one,
Extinction,
and
extraction. Sorry, extraction.
Extinction, sorry, and the Riders Republic is coming out in October or something like that.
A bit disappointed that it's been delayed, but you know what? If they need the time to fix Riders Republic, or if they feel like it needs a bit more tweaking before it comes out, that's fine. Extraction looked rough at E3.
Yep. I don't think the response was really exciting.
Neither do I think that the response was exciting for that one. So I don't know what's going on with that game. You know what? It's better that way. Delay it, bring it out when you're absolutely sure that it's good to go. Unlike some other developers that did not heed that warning. Uh, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
One more thing that I want to bring up before we go to the next segment.
Sure.
Um, Pokemon Unite. Speaking of League of Legends, Pokemon Unite is coming out to Switch finally. It got announced like 6 months ago. Like, okay, not six, but like 5 months ago on like a Pokemon Direct that they're working on a MOBA for Pokemon, which is being, I think, co-published by Tencent and developed by a Chinese developer. I don't know the name of them. They work on like MOBAs. Like they're one of their most popular games on mobile game is like a MOBA. So they know what they're doing in that space. It's coming to Switch the same day that the podcast is launching. So if you're listening to it on the podcast launch day, which is on every other Wednesday, um, you might also be able to download Pokemon Unite if that interests you.
Is it a free to play
This
game?
it's a free, well, it's a MOBA, so it's free to play. Yes,
Mm.
with microtransactions, of course. I don't know what the microtransaction is. They did do a they did do like a closed beta a while ago. Um, I don't remember what the response to it was. That it is a unique take. It's a unique take on MOBAs. So I guess I'll see on Wednesday. I pretty sure I'm not gonna talk about this again. So I thought, you know what, let me just bring it up because it is a news article. Um, and speaking of news articles and Tencent, they are looking to acquire Sumo Digital
They are.
for $1.3 billion.
Yes, the deal hasn't gone through yet, but if they do, then
They made a bid,
yeah,
and it's apparently up to the shareholders now to okay the transaction.
I don't see those shareholders saying no, but then again, you never know.
Yeah, I don't see them saying no either because they probably would get a nice big payout. What is V doing there, man?
I have it on my desk here. I was so
Well,
crowded in my in
well,
my
I have Group Key here as always. My editor. Um, Group Key here edits, like if you're watching like the video. Group Key here edits the audio for Game Rivals. So Be nice to Grookey.
And V here edits the video podcast for Game Rivals, so you can even see him plugging into my PC already, ready yet to go.
He does it with his augmentations.
He does.
Yeah, so I think that's about it for news.
That's it.
So stick around. We'll be back with what we've been playing. And welcome back to what we've been playing. Sean Templar, what have you been playing?
I'm trying to think of what I've been playing, but I don't think it's a lot.
Just mentioned it.
Call of Duty Warzone.
Are you still in that dip, huh?
I am still in that dip.
He is in that funk, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a really long time, right?
It's been months.
Maybe it really is maybe there's not a game that's tickling your fancy right now.
Oh, there's enough stuff that I can play. It's like
No. I'm not saying that you can't play. I'm saying that interests you enough to play.
Oh, I would love to play Ratchet and Clank, but I cannot find the way. I don't know. It's like when I fire something up, it's just after like 5 minutes, I'm like me, and then I turn it off. Like except for Warzone. Warzone is like just headless, mindless shooting.
Yeah, but that's also because it's your social outlet. You play with friends.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a little bit more of Formula One with my steering wheel, which is really cool because it adds a whole different layer on top of the game. It's really hard.
How many times have you crashed?
Well, not that often because what I've done is it's like I haven't turned off all the driving assist yet. So like my first idea was let me just learn how to drive with the steering wheel before turning off all the assists and then going like pro mode. So basically, not that often, and you can also rewind if you crash in the game. So that's also a benefit. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure a certain F1 racer wish they had that ability.
I think he definitely would have. It's just funny because I think if he had done the same, so like I would say in both situations he's screwed because if people don't know what we're talking about, yesterday during the British Grand Prix, Max Verstappen got pushed off of the track, and there's debate about if it's a racing incident or it was intentional or if Lewis didn't give him enough room. But I was thinking if
according to his account, he got pushed.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it looks like a push. But so the funny thing is Max got pushed off the track. Lewis says it's his fault because he didn't give Lewis enough room. If he would have done the same to Lewis, it would have still been his fault because he would still have not given Lewis enough room. So like in both situations, it's Max's fault. It's like that's strange, right?
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah, and like the thing that is a bit nasty about it is that all incidents aside, apparently yesterday the whole community or a lot of people were throwing racist remarks towards Lewis Hamilton on and like basically
they did.
doing stuff online. I'm like, but guys, this has nothing to do. Why are we bringing that into this conversation?
Because that's what people do.
It's but like it's just so. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, this is just sad. I mean, the cool thing about motorsport is that it reaches out across the world. They race on different countries, different continents, different cultures. I mean, it's a truly global event. So, like, why, lower ourselves to that level in which we start to hate on a driver and pick on him and just say racist stuff?
Well, they did the same thing in the EU. In the EU, sorry. I mean, in the Euro Cup.
But why?
I mean, when England lost the penalty shootout, they slung racist remarks towards the black players. Like, what the actual crap?
Yeah, I mean, the fact
they're also the same ones that brought them to the finals, by the way.
Exactly. I mean, like it's all good until you make a mistake and then you're the worst. I mean, it's just such a shame that we always lower ourselves to that level. I mean, these things
It's a good thing you don't have that in video games. Well, not in actual video games.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like when you play online against other people. Looking at you, Call of Duty.
I mean,
So like I haven't like seriously the only games that I've ever experienced it in is in Call of Duty. I think I experienced it when I played um Halo 3 back in the day on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That was fun. No, it wasn't.
Yep.
Um so yeah, it's like I don't know. Like
I hate to
it's
say it, but
also
generally it's related to specific countries or in stuff like that
yeah.
is I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest. When I play Call of Duty, is and I've stopped playing multiplayer for a while now. I only play Warzone with friends. But when we used to play multiplayer, um, 9 out of 10 times if we were matchmade with, for example, people from Germany, well, be
Mhm.
just fun and laughs. If we were matchmade with people from Spain, fun and laughs. Uh, 9 out of 10 times they don't speak English, so we just laugh at each other.
You
Um,
don't know what they're saying.
uh, yeah, that's the benefit. If we were matchmade with people from France, sometimes it would get heated because somebody would say something like omelette du fromage or croissant or baguette. It's just stupid
Oh
things.
no,
But
that's also bad.
yeah, but unfortunately, when we would get matchmade with people from the United Kingdom, it would always turn out, not always, but a lot of the times it would turn out
Yeah.
bad because it would just be, and I can't say the words because we're a E for Everyone podcast, but
Hmm.
the
And we're
amount,
on and we're on YouTube.
and we're on YouTube, but the amount of swearing and stuff that would be involved out of the blue for no reason
Mm.
without any provocation, it's just insane. Same goes for, unfortunately, people in the US. Also, maybe in your Halo 3 days, that might have also been a bit from there. I mean, I don't like to generalize, but in my experience so far, it's always certain countries where these things happen, and that's a shame. I don't know why. Um, and depending on which country, it would get worse because then they would also, you know, say stuff like, "Oh, you're probably black," and I'm like, what does that have to do with the game? And if so, is that a bad thing? Why do you look so negatively on
Mm.
that? You know,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. And that's,
It's weird.
that kind of takes out the fun of playing multiplayer games online sometimes.
Does okay? So I'm assuming F does F Zero F Zero. Oh my goodness, I miss F Zero. I mean, does F1 have like online multiplayer?
It does.
And does it support voice chat in the multiplayer? I'm assuming it does,
I
right?
think it does. I've never played multiplayer. I only played the career mode.
Hmm, curious.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how that goes there.
I think if you crash into somebody, they will just freak out at you as well, no matter where they're from.
Yeah, as long as they don't take it nuclear, I think it's fine.
Yeah. But
But
that's
what
basically
else?
my, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's our.
haven't. I tried to play Judgment because it's on
Oh,
PS
you got
now.
Judgment?
No, well, it's on PS now, and I could get a 7-day trial, and I tried to
Ah,
play
okay.
it, but I couldn't get further than 10 minutes before I thought, like,
Really? Even
meh.
though you're into
I
Yakuza?
love those games, but because I'm still in this meh after 5 minutes mood, I just
Hmm.
couldn't do it. And then,
Oh, that's kind of a waste of a 7 day trial then.
yeah, but I know for sure that I want the game now, so that's okay. But yeah, I'm still in that I don't know what to play mode.
Hmm.
So
All right.
yeah. But hey, what have you been playing?
Well, I've only been playing a few things. I played a little bit of Skyward Sword. I think I'll talk about that when I've played a little bit more.
Okay.
The thing I will say is that the button controls in quotes are it's not
I heard
ideal.
the controls are not really nice for the combat, at least.
Yeah, it's not really ideal because you have to swing the basically how it is, you have to swing the right analog stick as you would swing the Joy-Con or the Wii remote back in the day. So you have to like rev it up by if you want to swipe from left to right, you have to slam the stick left first and right first, and then slam it from right to left so that you can swipe from right to left. If you just slam the controller to one side, it'll just point the sword in that direction. It
That's
won't swipe.
annoying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
which which is why I'm playing with the motion controls. But with the motion controls, if you want to aim at something, like for example with the slingshot, you have to, like, if you are a little bit off center when you go into that mode, you're gonna start moving already in that direction.
Oh
So you
man.
have to hit the Y button to center it again. It is annoying. It's not. It is also a little bit of immersion breaking, but because when you press the Y button, it immediately centers, it doesn't kill it as much as, for example, the button controls
Hmm.
or the analog stick controls. Plus, if you play with the analog sticks, you have to hold the left shoulder button so that you can use the right analog stick to move the camera.
Okay. Wow. Sounds
So
complicated.
I don't know. I think it's best to play it as it's intended than to make it work on. Basically, they had to do this so that people on Switch lights can play the game.
Yep.
Otherwise, they have to attach Joy Cons to the Switch Lite, and they have to set up their Switch Lite on like the desk and stuff like that. At least this way, you can technically play it if it's comfortable. I don't know. It is something to get used to at the very least.
Doesn't sound
The
like the ideal solution.
It is a solution. Ideal, no.
Yeah.
Is it a solution? Sure. At least they offered the solution. Um, it runs nice. It runs at 1080p native, 60 frames per second on docked,
Wow.
720p, on portable, 60 frames per second locked. It's smooth as butter. Because the original, like, no, like, here's the thing. This is the first time a Zelda game is running at 60,
Okay.
but our 3D Zelda is running on 60. Because I think the remake of Link's Awakening also ran at 60, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But this is the first 3D Zelda game that is running at 60 frames.
Okay.
Yeah, like Breath of the Wild runs at 30. The original release of Skyward Sword on Wii ran at 30. So if you look at side by sides, you can really see like the smooth animation on the Switch and like the slightly choppy animation on the Wii. Slightly more, not slightly less. Sorry.
I never thought 60 FPS would make such a big difference because on PC I'm used to it and I'm okay with it. But on console I was always okay with 30. But with PS5
It's
and Series X games, you can choose one. Do you want max fidelity or max performance? And I know with Miles Morales, I played it the first time with fidelity and the second time with performance. And the second time, I didn't notice that big of a difference in the graphics quality, but I did notice that 60 FPS of swinging through the
makes it
city.
smooth as butter.
Oh, that was buttery smooth swinging through the city. I love that. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, so I didn't even think that it would make a difference, but it does feel like it helps for one with the motion controls,
Yeah,
because you don't have the pointer. So they had to compromise in that regard. So they had to bump up the frame rate so that at least the motion control can keep up,
yeah.
and actually, functionally work. So that's nice. Outside of that, I've been playing. Like I said before, I was sick, so I wasn't even able to stream, which sucks. Um, but yeah, like I played a lot of Stardew Valley because one of our mutual friends, Liam, um, like listens to the podcast like a lot. Like, hey Liam, what's up? I'm pretty sure you're listening to this. We're shouting you out again, or at least I'm shouting you out again. He started playing Stardew Valley again, and he got really into it. And then I was like, well, I have a family in Stardew Valley. I have a child
Oh wow.
and a wife that I've ignored for like a year.
Oh wow. They must have
you
divorced
know,
you by now.
no, they were
Oh,
still there. They are
oh,
very nice and loving.
poor them.
So I got into playing Stardew Valley again. We got a second child.
Yay.
We have two kids now. The only downside of Stardew Valley is it has only 3 in-game years, and I'm in the third year.
Hmm.
And the kids only grow up to toddler, so they don't get any older than being a toddler, which is kind of disappointing because I would have loved to see more interaction with like your kids at least becoming kids and have them actually talking to you and seeing if they inherit the mother's personality or your personality. I have no idea I would
Holy
work
crap!
with
I think.
personality inheritance,
Oh
but
man.
this is more like the Sims territories we're talking about. But it would have been interesting to see if that worked. They added a lot of stuff, by the way, to Stardew Valley that was new to me because there was like I when I started playing it, and there was like an update. I'm like, oh, okay, there's an update, sure.
I haven't
And
played
then
it in
it
a
like
while.
added like a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't aware of. It's like
Mm.
they added the ability to put cabins in because I think that's part of the multiplayer stuff. They streamlined a whole bunch of stuff. They added new missions, new monthly missions or bi-weekly missions, which is really cool. So you can have like a normally you can pick up like small quests that you have to do in like 2 days, but these you can take. These are as short as 7 days and can be as long as the whole entire month,
Wow.
which is really cool because some of them like really require you to like gather a lot of stuff and provide it, and all of them have new cutscenes attached to them. So they actually add a lot more flavor to the game that you're playing, which is really fun. So I'm trying to I'm almost at the end of my third year, and when the third year is up, that's it. Then the ghost of my grandpa comes back, and he judges me on if I did a good job or not.
Wow.
Yeah, like no kidding. Like in the third year, he's like, "Oh, you've been here for 3 years now. There's only 1 year left, and I'm gonna check in on you, and then the game's over." And like, oh, okay. I just thought it went on forever, but okay, apparently
Oh
it doesn't.
wow.
So it's like 3 years. So I'm in winter, which is the most challenging part of well, it's the least challenging part of the year because spring, summer, and fall, you can always plant and harvest stuff from your farm. Winter is the only time of the year that you do not have to tend your farm except for your farm animals,
Mm.
which are in either a coop or in a barn. And they added a bunch of automation stuff. So, for example, they added a new collector that you can buy, and you can place it in the coop or in the barn, and it will automatically collect eggs, duck feathers. If you have a rabbit wool from the rabbits or the rabbit's foot,
Wow.
like those rabbit's foot that you have on a keychain.
Yeah.
Apparently, rabbits just shed those things.
What?
Yeah, like one time I had rabbits, and I only wanted the rabbits for the fur, for the wool, and then I went in and I saw a rabbit's foot. It's like literally like what you would buy at a gift shop. I'm like, okay, apparently they just shed that. Okay.
Okay.
I bought a pig, which I kind of wish I did earlier because one of the community center um tasks or um not tasks but quests was to you have to gather stuff for the community center. One of them was truffles, which you can only get if you have a pig on your farm. If I knew that, I would have bought a pig a long time ago because I already had cows. I already had goats for cow milk and goat milk. I bought a sheep so I can get more wool so that I can make clothes because you can make clothes in
Wow, that
Stardew
sounds
Valley.
so deep. Oh my god.
You can customize the clothes, which is really cool. You can name all your animals. So I named most of my animals to in jokes for Rick and Morty. So I have a chicken. I have like a chicken called um uh what's Rick's catchphrase also again? Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. So I've got a chicken called Wubba, another chicken called Lubba, and another chicken called Dub Dub. I've got a
Oh,
chicken. I named my animals after like the creation process of the plumbus. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, if you've watched Interdimensional Cable 2, you know what a plumbus is and what it's made of.
wow.
Uh, yeah, man. I was like, I'm bad with names. I'm just gonna name this after Rick and Morty stuff. It was, to be fair, around that time. That was like season 2, season 3 when I played that. Maybe season 4. Yeah, around that time. It's when I played it. So yeah, I named everything after Rick and Morty stuff. Even my cat is called like Grumbo.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's fun. Like my kids have normal names. They're fine. They have normal names. The girls got Nina, and the boy I called Maxie because of course. My name in the game is Max. I have to call my son Maxie, so it's nice and cute.
How original of you.
Like I said, I'm bad with names. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley. I want to finish up. I'm I'm halfway through winter. So when winter's up, that's it. That should be the end game. And when that's done, I'm gonna tackle the multiplayer with Liam. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Kind of a bit of a challenge because we live in two completely different time zones. So that's gonna be interesting to do.
So
But
you either
yeah,
have to play during the day. Yeah, you have to play during the day.
I have to
Like
play during the day.
you have to play during from the morning as early as you can till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's your window.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much. I missed playing Stardew Valley, and I forgot how much I loved playing Stardew
I wish the game had
Valley.
a more clear tutorial because it just throws you in there and expects you to kind of work your
Kind
way.
well, it also depends on which farm you picked. If you picked anything other than like the basic farm, if you picked Riverside or any other location, you're just making it harder on yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you did not choose like the valley, like the actual valley, then you're making it hard for yourself because if you chose the Riverlands, you have not a lot of space to do farming. If you chose like the mountains, you're you have better you can't mine a lot. Wait, no, that makes no sense. If you chose the beach, you don't have a lot of mining opportunities, and also you don't have a lot of um, farming opportunities. So you have to really like pick the base one if you're playing it for the first time. That's my like kind of advice for that. I picked that one. Liam picked the Riverside because he wanted to have a challenge. His farm does look immaculate though. That dude is really good with this kind of stuff. My farm looks like crap. It's really tiny, but it is efficient. It took me 3 years to get it that efficient, but I got it efficient.
Nice.
If I would do it again, I would know how to like play the game a lot better. I'd probably be able to get married a lot sooner because I got married at the end of my second year, which is like a lot of time in that game. So, but that's basically what I've been playing.
I I am getting excited to playing it again, hearing this, but knowing myself, I'll probably just quit after 5 minutes. So
We have like I feel like if we did the multiplayer, you'd be way more invested because
I think
there's
so
the
as well.
social aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
So with that said, Sean Templar, will you take us out?
I will try to. So thank you everybody for tuning in to this visual episode of Rivals. As we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we are finally available on YouTube. Um, this episode will have a few hiccups because we probably jinxed ourselves by saying that we're on YouTube at the beginning of the episode. We've in secret uploaded a few episodes there, so you can just watch a few already if you like, and we will try to at least post every episode when it comes out. And we're also trying to get all the older episodes on, so like you'll get a new episode 1 week, and then the week after you'll probably get an older episode until we go through the whole backlog, which is 2.5 seasons, or
It's
maybe
gonna take a while, but
yeah, or three and a
we're
half
gonna get it.
seasons. So yeah, 3.5 seasons. Yeah, because we've been at it for a long time. But hey, if you're tuning into the audio edition, thank you very much for listening. You can find us on all your podcasting platforms. We're available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Overcast, you name it. We're probably there. You can find us on social media. You can find us on Twitter, game_rivals_, game rivals feedback at gmail.com. You can,
That's our email.
that's our email. Instagram at game rivals or at Maximilian_X. Maximilian also has a Twitter at Maximilian. That's
Yep,
it.
just at
You can
Maximilian
find it. Yeah, yeah. You can find him on Twitch at Maximilian_X as
underscore
well.
X. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta keep it consistent, man. You can't do one without the underscore
Well,
X and one
the
with.
Twitter one is old, so I never added
Okay,
the X back then
then
because
adjust
I
it.
was because it used to be Maximilian underscore X4,
Mm.
which was a weird, super stupid nod to Mega Man X4, but that's for another time.
Well,
Um,
yeah, we'll get.
but yeah, so now basically, if you look for Maximilian or Maximilian underscore X, you're gonna find me.
Yep. Um, and that's basically it. And yeah, of course, YouTube, and you can find the link for that in the description. Do check us out. I always said I'm not a fan of this, but discoverability is horrible. So please do like and subscribe if you like what you
Yep.
see. It really helps us out.
Don't
Uh,
forget to hit the bell notification, otherwise, you will not be getting a notification when we do upload a new episode. So
that's
don't forget
correct.
to do that.
Ugh, I feel like those YouTubers that always start with that and like they're saying like, "Oh, 70% of you haven't subscribed yet." La
Oh,
la la
that I
la.
do not.
I do
That I do
not
not
like
like at
that. No,
all.
I don't like it. It
No,
feels so
that's
forced.
like if you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't want to
Yeah.
subscribe, that's also fine.
Yeah.
But just share word of mouth.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that if you don't like it, someone that you do know might enjoy what they're listening to or watching. So yeah, again,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah.
watching
Thanks
and
for doing it.
listening.
On that note, I have been and always will be Sean Templar.
And I have been and will always be Maximilian X.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Later.